Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1527A, and today's date is March 21st, 2018, and the title of the episode is The Central Bankers Just Pushed Back Against the Plan. Now, before I get started, I just want to make an announcement. I uploaded a new interview with David Morgan, and it's on the X22 Report Spotlight YouTube channel. So all you need to do is go over to YouTube, type in X22 Report Spotlight. It'll bring you to the interview, or you can come over to x22report.com or newsentinel.com. Scroll down a little bit, look over to your right-hand side. You can play the video right on the site, or you can go to steemit.com. That's steemit.com/@X22Report, and you can play the interview right on Steemit. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Now, we know that the banking community, they're very nervous and afraid of cryptocurrency. The IMF, the Biz, the central bankers, the New York Fed, they all made statements on how cryptocurrency is used by terrorists, how it's used by criminals, it's not real currency, and they continue on down this path to try to convince everyone that you shouldn't be looking at it whatsoever. They did the same thing with gold back in 1975, 1971 when we came off the gold standard, and they told everyone it was a barbarous relic. Don't look at it. They created the paper market to suppress gold and silver to make sure that people didn't realize what was happening as we went along, and the fiat currency system continually degraded over time. And they kept gold at a certain level, and they made sure that people didn't realize what was happening. This way, no one really understood what was happening to the economy until it was too late. This is what they're doing with cryptocurrencies right now. This is the beginning stages. There are many individuals looking at it, many governments looking at it, and they want to make sure that nobody does anything with it. They want to make sure that they can control it. They want to make sure they know who is trading in it. And we can see already that with the revelation by Snowden, the NSA has been spying on individuals that have been trading in Bitcoin. Now, they didn't access the blockchain system. What they've been doing is they access your computer system where they can find out what you are doing, just like anything else. If they wanted to find out where you're banking, where you're posting on social media, who you're talking to with email, all they need to do is access your computer system. And we know that they have many different ways to do this. We know within the chips, they have malware that's embedded. It allows the agencies to spy on people. And we can see right now, Snowden reveals that the National Security Agency managed to find ways to track down senders and receivers of Bitcoins. And again, this is a violation of our rights, but once again, they don't care about that. And what they did was they used this program called Monkey Rocket, a sub-program of Oakstar, which gathered data from the Middle East, Europe, South America, Asia, and according to other documents, they accessed computer software, computers, to see what everyone was doing and to see where all these transactions and everything was happening. And part of this effort involved tricking targets into using privacy software that was actually funneling information directly to the agency. Now, financial privacy is something that matters incredibly to the Bitcoin community, and many people were using this private type of software where they thought they were getting, privacy, and they actually were feeding the information to the NSA. And we see right now that this is how worried they are about the crypto market. Think about this for a second. And I heard John McAfee talking about this, and he really made a lot of sense. He says, banks, the credit card companies, they won't allow you to buy cryptocurrency because they're saying it's very, very risky. But the credit card companies, the banks, will allow you to use it for gambling. Now, isn't that as risky? I mean, the risks going in. You understand that you could lose money. You understand that this is not a sure thing, but they will let you use it to gamble, but they won't let you use it to purchase cryptocurrency. This should tell you something right off the bat. And you can see that the banks are very worried about the crypto market. Now, we've been talking a lot about how there is this battle going on between the central banking system, the deep state, and Trump, his administration, patriots, China, Russia. And we can see that Trump has made a move. He's calling for tariffs. He's calling for reciprocal taxes. He doesn't want NAFTA, got rid of TPP. And basically what he's doing is he's pushing the agenda against the largest trading partner of the U.S., and that is China. How do you crash a system? Well, you bring the dollars home. You make sure that the European countries and the banking community don't have those dollars. All of a sudden you have a shortage. You have a liquidity crisis. You start a trade war. Actually, not a trade war. You just set up tariffs and you say, we're going to charge you a lot more for these tariffs. And what will happen is the markets will start to break down. Now, we understand that the central bankers, they realize what he's trying to do, and he understands what they're trying to do. So Powell came out today and said, okay, we're going to raise the rates, and we're going to do maybe 2 more in 2018, maybe 3 more in 2018. And what's very interesting about what happened with the Fed today, now, their language is changing. And I said this a couple of months ago, where eventually what's going to happen is the Fed is going to change their tune on how the economy's doing. The corporate media is going to pick this up, and then they're going to start saying, hey, the economy's not doing as well. And they're going to turn towards Trump to say, well, his tariff, his reciprocal taxes, his tax plan that got through and was voted on and he got it, this is all destroying the economy. And we could see already with the Fed's language, they've already started. Now, the Fed said the following, and this is what they said prior to today, all throughout Obama's reign, even when Trump was president, when he got inaugurated, up until this point, we see things completely changing. So this is what they did. They used to say that the economic activity has been rising at a solid rate. And in your mind, you would think, wow, the economy's doing well. It's rising at a solid rate. Now they replace the word solid rate with the word moderate. So now they say economic activity has been rising at a moderate rate. And they shifted from gains in employment, household spending, and business fixed investment have been solid, to recent data suggests that growth rates of household spending and business fixed investment have moderated from their strong fourth quarter readings. This shows you right here that they're already maneuvering away from a strong economy, because the battle is being waged on who is going to bring down the economic system. Now, Trump's plan, and this plan is in coordination with Russia and China. Now, a lot of people don't think this. A lot of people think, whoa, China's now going to start a trade war, and this is going to be awful. No, they are working together to bring down the central banking system. This is the move. Right now, Russia has taken control of their private Western central bank. This is why they are so hated. That's why they're demonized right now, because they do not like countries where the central bank is not in control. And China right now is working with the U.S. because everything is going to be moving away from the central banking system. Now, the central bankers have planned to set up shop in China. It doesn't mean the government of China is accepting this. And we can see with the U.S., with Russia and China, they've come and they created this plan. This plan is to bring down the global system, to bring down the central banking system. And what is happening right now is they're maneuvering to do this. Now, the central bank, they understand what is happening. They realize what they're trying to do. This is why they're going to raise rates drastically. This is why we're going to see the stimulus start to slow, where the Fed is already unwinding. The ECB already said they're going to start to do this, because what is going to happen here is they're going to try to push the economy into a death spiral. And they're already starting to change their wording. In the next couple of weeks, you're going to hear the corporate media all of a sudden mimic what the Fed has just said, where the economy is not doing as well. We see the effects of the policies that the president's putting forth, and the economy starting to slow. We already see this in the GDP. And remember, all these numbers are manipulated anyhow. But we can see right now that things are going to start to slide, and they're going to start to blame this on Trump. Now, Trump, on the other hand, is going to push the plan. And we're going to see him do other things than what is happening right now, where they're going to accelerate this process to destroy the central banking system. Now, what he needs to do, and I think he's on this path right now, he's on the path to basically point the finger at the central bank and show that their policies, the stimulus, keeping the interest rates very low, creating bubbles. I believe he's gathering all this information right now, having a long history of what they've done in the past, and they're going to push the audit bill through. This will be the last stage. This will be the stage where they'll go in and they will audit the Fed. Now, it will be a very difficult time passing this, but they will get it passed. Because what they're going to do is they're going to take their data that they've been collecting, and then when they audit the Fed, they're going to take that data and they're going to show the world what the central bank actually does and how they've destroyed the American way of life, how they destroyed the global economy, how they enslaved the people of the world. This is the plan. There's a reason why Andrew Jackson is hanging in Trump's office. There's a reason why Trump is speaking to Xi Jinping, speaking to Putin, and actually doing everything opposite of what the central bank, what the deep state want. And we're going to see this accelerate throughout this year as we're seeing it right now. And I don't think we're going to have to wait 8, 9, 10 years. I think what's going to happen here is it's going to get to a point where you're going to see a lot of things start to happen. Just like when Q says, let's look at all these different things, and all of a sudden in a week or 2 or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, all of a sudden you see it happen. I think they're on the move right now. I think they're pushing the agenda. And when we start to see certain signs, we're going to start to realize that he's going to really push this hard. When we see the North Korea peace talks go through, I think this will be a sign. When we see troops start to, or he makes the announcement that some of the troops are going to be coming home from Iraq, from Syria, we're going to be pulling out, and we're going to let these countries basically govern themselves, I think this is going to be a sure sign that he's ready to make the move, because what that means is these countries out there with the petrodollar, they have the ability to use any currency they want. And if they use another currency, that means more dollars float back to the United States. The countries out in the Middle East will dump their reserves. If they dump their reserves, liquidity crisis. See what's happening here? And this will be a sure sign. So we need to watch this very carefully, because if or when we see the peace deal in North Korea, when we see the announcement in the Middle East, maybe it's not going to be all the countries, maybe one country at a time, this will be a signal that everything is changing, and he is preparing and getting ready to bring this system down. And that you're going to see the Fed come out, and they're going to try to maneuver and basically raise the rates, unwind even faster. The ECB is going to announce that they're going to unwind even faster, because it's a race to see who's going to control the narrative. Now, people are going to say, well, why doesn't a central bank just crash the economy? Because how do you explain that then? It just crashed out of nowhere? No, they need to build a story. They need to build a narrative, because if it just crashes, Trump can just turn around and saying, hey, you were managing this. What happened? You were unwinding, you were raising interest rates, and the economy just crashed? Something doesn't make sense. Remember, Trump's policies haven't been in effect that long. The tariffs and everything else. So they can't turn around and say, hey, Trump, it was you because it's been 3 weeks. No, it's not going to do anything, because nothing has really been implemented. Nothing is really happening right now. And it'll be a very hard case to say it was his fault. I mean, in a couple of months, in 6 to 8 months, yes, they can say that. And this is why Trump is pushing so hard to gain the narrative, to get the audit bill, to go in and take a look, to basically show the world what the central bank has been up to, and let the world say, guess what? We don't need the central bank. Because if the world, the people of the world, see this and it's put out there and they understand what has happened here and what they've done and what they've done to the people, this is the biggest push he would need, and China and Russia would need, to get rid of the central bank. So get prepared, get ready, because we're going to see fireworks all over the place. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.